ready? 3, 2, 1.
Miami. The voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's Suzette Speaks live on your radio right here on Voice of the Caribbean, South Florida's #1 Caribbean American radio station. Wagwan, everybody. You know how we do. We are live here talking news, talking about hot topics, social media. You know what we do here on the Suzette Speaks show, and I'm grateful that you're joining us. You can listen to me live every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on the Voice of the Caribbean. Do you know where to find us? Well, first of all, check out your app store. The Voice of the Caribbean is an app. Download that, even if you're our iPhone. I'm Android. Anyway, Google Play Store, iStore, wherever you whatever you have on your phone, use it, download us, and take us wherever you go. Also, remember, we are from all the way in the Keys to Jupiter, Florida, 101.5 FM HD2. What up? As well as simulcasting in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale. How you doing? 96.9 FM. Welcome. Now, you know I like to talk news and hot topics. First of all, I got to give a shout out, though, to some innovative folks who have come up with a new fun game. Yes, the news can get so heavy, so I don't want to give you too much all at once. I want to start out with something. Good afternoon, watching me on the YouTube side. Something lighter. Someone just gave me this brand new trivia game. It is made by a Jamaican-American creator. It's called Riddle Me This. Riddle Me This, the brand new trivia game. I love these games. I've seen several versions made by the diaspora, different creators, and I'm so excited that we have a Jamaican one. It's called Riddle, but you know how we say wriggle, but it's actually spelled properly. Riddle Me, M-I, This, all right? A Jamaican trivia game. They are sponsoring our first time check. It is now 108. Thank you, Riddle Me This, for this wonderful sample. You can call 954-816-2993 to order yours. Once again, the Riddle Me This, a Jamaican trivia game, is going to be a lot of fun for you to play. Again, they are sponsoring our first time check. It is now 106. And again, you can order yours, pre-order, right? It's not on the website yet. The pre-order at 954-816-2993. All right, we get that out of the way. Listen, on the Suzette Speaks show, we do heavier topics. And today, I have to tell you, I was so moved by what I saw on Instagram this morning. You know how sometimes you turn on all the time. You turn on your phone as soon as you wake up. I'm trying not to turn on my phone as soon as I wake up, but I do. And I immediately was brought to Tamika Mallory, a wonderful activist. You might know her name. She was very influential, or is very influential, in fighting for equal rights. When we had the uprisings of the summer of 2020, think Ferguson, think George Floyd, think all these wonderful or really historic times. Not so wonderful. Let me rephrase that. Historic times in our history where we were faced with the realities of how some people are treated differently under the law. And when I bring that up, I'm just going to juxtapose what happened in that summer, the George Floyd summer, all of the things that happened that you and I watched unfold on our TV. Remember, it was COVID. Everybody was locked in, but it's not COVID anymore. So people are so busy. The economy is crazy. We're just trying to make ends meet, right? But I want you to pay attention, guys, because there's something similar still happening, and it is happening right now in Minnesota with what is happening with the ICE agents who are on the ground. Now, when I watched the video this morning, I should play a little bit of it. Maybe after the first break, I'll play a little bit of it. But she was almost brought to tears by a recent event in Minnesota. Now, we've talked about Minnesota a lot, right? There are ICE agents, immigration and custom enforcement agents who are going door to door, who are picking up people from school, who are going to people's jobs. Did you hear about the story that they ate at the restaurant and then arrested the people at the back outside in the restaurant? Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. So, when we think things can't go from bad to worse, there was an incident that I do want to talk about in this first segment that has to do with ICE detaining a 5-year-old in order to use him as bait for his family to come out of the house and then be detained. Now, this is not an easy story for me to discuss. And of course, all parties are innocent until proven guilty. This is not a reflection of the opinion of the management or ownership of this station. This is me, myself, and I, Suzette Speaks, and how I feel about the current situation. Now, I always implore you to do your own research because so much video is being suppressed, but it's out there. It's out there with what's going on with ICE. I'm also going to talk about Don Lemon. You know, he was thrown into the spotlight. I watch a lot of Don Lemon. I'll just tell you that in full disclosure. But he covered a protest at a church in Minnesota earlier this week where one of the pastors, it was revealed, was a lead in ICE, right? A lead ICE agent, oversaw, I think, the field office. And folks who attended the church service, you know, went to protest and say, wait a minute, how do you profess this as your faith, as you were also, you know, helping to execute what people are, some people are describing as very inhumane and quite frankly illegal search and seizures of people. Some people are calling it snatching off the street. I'm not saying that's an accurate depiction, but I'm watching the video too. And we even had Mr. Don Lemon, an independent now reporter, formerly of CNN, in the streets, you know, watching this protest happen at the church service where this ICE official worked as a minister. Anyway, a lot has been happening. We'll go back to that. President Trump mentioned Don Lemon and saying that he should be, you know, thrown in jail. And I'm like, wait a minute. I think we are doing our job as the press when we are covering stories, right? When we're talking about it, this is what we're supposed to be, I guess, in America, free to do. Well, anyway, for now. So anyway, I want to tell you about this story. As I woke up this morning, I was watching Tamika Mallory, and I was kind of, you know, taken aback by her tears. And she was saying, this child could have been any of our children. And you imagine, and you see the picture of a young man, he's 5 years old, in a little, almost like a baby shark cap, because it's cold in Minnesota right now. It's snowing, right? And so this little boy is one of now 4 Columbian Heights students that's there in Minnesota that have been detained by federal agents in recent weeks. And what I'm telling you about is this specific 5-year-old whose school district says he was used to draw his family members from their home. This is according to the Mirror. This is a British publication, but this is their United States version, or their United States platform of the Mirror. Now, according to the Mirror, ICE has sparked condemnation after reports that a 5-year-old boy has been detained in Minnesota and used as quote-unquote bait in order to get his family to come out of the house. You hear me? Now, I saw some fellow attorneys, and I'm not giving a legal opinion on this at this time. This is just for informational purposes only, saying, you know, when is this possible in Florida? And is it possible in Florida? I got to give you some food for thought, guys. We're going to take a break here soon. But according to reports, according to the Mirror, and the Columbia Heights Public School District has said 4 of its students have been detained by federal agents in 4 separate incidents over the past 2 weeks. District officials confirmed that one of the children is a 5-year-old who attends an elementary school in the area. This 5-year-old in Minnesota was allegedly used as bait to draw out relatives out of their home. Now, according to one Columbia Heights school official, their superintendent, why detain a 5-year-old? You can't tell me that child is going to be classified as a violent criminal, says Zena Stebnick, the Columbia Heights superintendent. Now, there's a lot going on in schools as well. Broward County, there's some school closures that are coming up. We're going to talk about that later in the show. Pay attention. There are several schools now, according to the Broward County School Board and its superintendent, that are scheduled to be closed, including Norfolk Elementary, including Plantation Middle School, and several others. Are you paying attention? And I just saw, and it's trending now among us in South Florida, that because Broward County apparently has 50,000 less students in the public school system, 50,000 less, they are also precluding or preventing certain schools from doing graduation in their typical off-campus locations. For example, the War Memorial Auditorium, and there are other auditoriums. They're basically saying a lot of the schools have to not only be consolidated, but that graduation ceremonies will be held at other high schools. I was watching the Broward County School Board, some highlights from it, and not everybody is happy. Some parents are very troubled, dissatisfied. They will no longer have the ability. I think Bear Middle is on the list as well. I can pull that up. And just looking at where are the closures taking place and why, it again is ringing some alarm bells. We're going to talk about it. Also, I do want to get back and finish this story about the ICE detention of this 5-year-old in order to draw out their parents. But many again are in the streets protesting in Minnesota. And I'm asking you, how do you feel about this? Now, I may want to talk about Greenland. Right now, Mr. Trump is just off of a speech he gave at an economic forum in Davos, Switzerland. Did you watch the speech yesterday? Did you watch any of it? The question and answer about Greenland. Are you guys convinced that Mr. Trump is serious about taking over Greenland? Do you think Greenland is going to become, dare I say, the 51st state of the United States? Do you think it's right? Do you think it's wrong? You can give me a call, 850-446-0562. Suzette Speaks Show Live. Shout out to everybody watching on the YouTube side. Shout out to everybody on the Instagram side. We are here to discuss hot topics. This is a public forum. Again, all voices are welcome. I'm just presenting the information to you, but if you have a strong opinion, you can call me, 850-446-0562. Once again, this preliminary segment of the Suzette Speaks Show is brought to you by a new board game called Riddle Me This. Okay, a Jamaican trivia game. It is not yet available widely. You can order it, pre-order. These are the games, when you have family games nights and you get, with your friends or your homegirls or whoever, and they want to see what you really know about the arts, the culture, the music and all that. And it's a trivia board game. It's cool. You basically pull the cards and guess the correct answer. And we appreciate Riddle Me This for this time check. It is now 1:18. And you can pre-order your Riddle Me This at 954-816-2993. Thank you for your sponsorship. 954-816-2993. If you want to reach the Caribbean American community here in South Florida, this is where you need to be. The voice of the Caribbean is the #1 South Florida based Caribbean American outlet radio, you name it, right? We reach from the Keys all the way up to Jupiter, and we're here to serve the community, let you know what's going on. Actually, I want to tell you a little bit later, if you can watch me, if you're on the voiceofthecaribbean.com, I don't know if we can see it on the app as well, but your girl is a little bit dressed because I will be hosting an amazing event in Miami Gardens later today. I got to tell you all about it. Suzette Speaks, I be in these streets, right? So I got to tell you what's going on locally. How did you guys, well, first of all, I wasn't here for the post-UM, should I say, Cry, the game. Y'all watched it? My cousin is a junior at FIU, and she said those people were in her dorm room yelling and screaming. I did stay up on Monday night. Shout out to the Canes. Guys, you guys fought a wonderful fight. No one expected you to do it. That last play, baby, oh my gosh. That last interception, it just really burned a hole in my heart. But you got to give credit where credit is due. Shout out to, what's his name? Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana. He is from Miami, went to a private Catholic school here, and, showed us that, what he's made of. He was ready for the big time. He is the grandson of Cuban-American immigrants. And it was an amazing game to watch. You guys, I have to take a quick break. Taking a pause for the crowds. Don't go anywhere. Much more Suzette Speaks Show right after this.
The all-new voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio. WLYF HD2 Miami. 101.5 HD2.
Looking for work or have a company that can provide services? The Destiny Special Sustainability Zone needs you. Thousands of jobs.
I can quickly post the part where you kind of shouted out your event.
Yes.
Unless you want me to
Whatever
wait.
looks the best to you, you could split that up in maybe 3 posts.
Yeah, I really can.
90 second or 60 second or 30 second, whatever you think looks the best. I trust you. Then invite me as a collaborator and it'll come to my page too.
Okay.
We share it in the stories as well, et cetera, et cetera. That's why I'm like, we're not doing enough. We're posting now, yay.
Yeah.
But we're not
But it's
quite
enough.
working it.
Yeah,
We're not working it. So we're gonna get
Kayla,
it.
But
We're gonna
I
get
think
it.
I'm gonna hop in and be like,
Yeah.
girl, I think we just need just access,
Yes.
full-time access.
Absolutely.
Because no one's gonna be
No, and
over
we don't
here waiting for
need-
the iPad
No.
to
no.
do it. Like we
Yeah.
should wake up, roll out of
And you
bed,
can
post.
there's other stuff that you can what can I say, other platforms that allow us to pre-plan like on a weekly basis. Like
Yeah.
we have evergreen stuff that hasn't even been posted yet. I know Miss Chin had made a lot of different cool AI graphics that she sent it to us, but they were never posted. So
Right.
we have a lot we can do, but I
Okay.
just don't want to overwhelm everybody and feel like do this, do this, do this, do that. But if that looks good to you, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. Make sure your girl's eyes look open, and I'm not looking crazy. I trust you.
I'll definitely show you before
Yes,
I do it.
absolutely.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Oh, I appreciate it. Okay, chop it up and.
Unless you want to talk a little bit more about your event. Is there
Okay,
like
yeah,
a
we'll do
part-
one more, and you can. The next break is like, say, let's go 10 minutes, and it'll be right back, and I'll talk about it first.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna just
not
let it roll.
even 120. Yeah, 120, 130. Here we go.
All your questions live on the air. See you on Thursday. I'm attorney Jamal Hinkson from Hinkson Immigration
We've
Law.
got about 30 seconds, not even. Oh, this 60 seconds. Now see it's long. Okay. All right, no rush. We got 60 seconds. You feel good? I'm trying to I gotta talk about YouTube. I wonder if I can
Nelson's Herbs,
play a little bit of the clip
2780
with a
North
5-year-old
University Drive in
arrested.
Sunrise, Florida, 33322.
5-year-old.
Telephone number 954-940-8600, 954-940-8600. They also have a store in Montego Bay, Jamaica, at the Dr. Cage Beach, 876-477-6564. To help with
crazy
diabetes,
caller who
high blood
always
pressure,
calls
want
and
to
yells
lose
at me
weight,
on the
want to
line.
detox.
I was gonna
Nelson,
ask
all the
you,
natural herbs
he's
can help
crazy.
you.
Do
If
you
you have pain
ever
in the joints,
Yeah,
Nelson
no, I'll ask
battle
him.
with them
Yes,
and be like,
he was
How
so
do you have
crazy.
morals?
He was crazy.
Like, you have morals?
Yeah, no, there's some crazy, crazy people.
940-8600.
He's one of them, and I
Nelson's
refuse
Herbs
to.
can help you.
I refuse to make myself uncomfortable. Last time my friend listened, she was like, "Are you okay?" Like, he was really off. All right, here we go.
The Voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yes, good afternoon and welcome. It's the Suzette Speaks Show live. I come to you every Thursday and Friday right here on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, South Florida's #1 destination for Caribbean American music, content, and all of that stuff. We're going to tell you about what's going on around town. We're also going to tell you about some new events. Listen, we are where you need to be. Keep us locked. You can listen to us on 101.5 FM on the HD2. Make sure it's AC2 dial. And that goes from Key Largo all the way up to Jupiter as well. Wagwan, Broward County, right? Fort Lauderdale in 96.9 FM, right? We want you to keep it locked. You can also download the app, whether you have an Android or iPhone. We are in the Play Store as well as the iStore, all right? So make sure you take us wherever you go. This is Suzette Speaks, your hostess with the mostest. I talk to you about hot topics as well as social media trends. There's so much to talk about. Trust me, I will never be out of topics because the more I watch social media, the more I pay attention to the news. Sometimes your head hurts, but hey, we're here to break it down for you, right? So I was talking about during the first segment, if you're just joining, what's going on in Minnesota. It's very important that we talk about what's going on. They're calling it a federal crackdown. And something that occurred most recently, we have to talk about, is a 5-year-old that was detained by ICE, according to reports, to be used as bait to get his family to come out of their house. And it was very harrowing. You can see the video and you see pictures of this little boy in a little, what looks like a baby shark hat outside. It's cold in Minnesota. He's bundled and ICE has him on the ground in order to get his family to show themselves. And again, it's getting worse and worse. And we're just covering what we are now hearing. According to the Mirror in the the Mirror is the publication, but it's their U.S. branch, the Mirror U.S. We're looking at what happened, okay? The 5-year-old, according to the superintendent there in Minnesota, Miss Stefnik, Zena Stefnik, she's the Columbia Heights superintendent, told reporters on Wednesday, just yesterday, she said masked agents stopped the 5-year-old, whose name is Liam Conejo Ramos, in his driveway. That occurred on Tuesday as he arrived home from school with his father. And again, if you watch the video for yourself, you can draw your own opinion, but people are asking, is this what we stand for as Americans, right? Using 5-year-olds who happen to be citizens or whose parents may be undocumented or we don't know or in the process of trying to do it properly, etc. Are we breaking up families and are we traumatizing children is really the question. So that happened on Tuesday. It comes after an ICE agent uttering a sickening 2-word slur as a woman was shot in the face. Do you remember? We talked about it last week. Remember Miss Renee Good? She was the lady who was shot in the face, shot 3 times actually. The autopsy just came out today. This is the white woman who was in her car. She was serving as an observer. And according to reports, she was trying to pull away. You can see the video for yourself. I see with my eyes that her tires were facing opposite of the ICE agent that was trying to give her commands, and instead of reacting in a different way, more humane way, shot her in the face, shot her 3 times, and took this woman's life. So in Minnesota, we're seeing the beginnings of some very disturbing behaviors that we are all concerned about, and we must keep track of. Do not look away. So according to this 5-year-old detention that happened in Minnesota, according to the superintendent Stefnik, she said another adult living in the home was outside and begged the agents to let him take care of the small child, and he was refused. And instead, she said, the agent took the child out of the still running car, led him to the door, and directed him to knock on the door, asking to be let in order to see if anyone else was at home, essentially using the 5-year-old as bait. Agents later placed both the child and his father in the vehicle and transported them to Texas. We're going to keep you informed about what's going on there. I also want to tell you about an event I'm hosting today. Listen, let's pivot because we all have, busy calendars. And I want to give a special shout out to the city of Miami Gardens and the Jesse Trice Healthcare Center. They are putting on an amazing science fair competition tonight. And yours truly, Suzette Speaks, will be out here hosting and giving away money, scholarships, etc. for students who have done outstanding work on their science fair projects. I've been a part of this. This was a wonderful project started by former Councilman David Williams, and now he is producing this program through the Jesse Trice Health Center. And we're going to have an amazing time tonight. That'll be at 6 p.m. and it is open to the public. Parking is limited, however, but we are celebrating children. Just like I saw so many of you out. It was an amazing MLK Day. The parades from downtown Miami, to Opelika, all the way through or Miami Gardens, and it was just beautiful to see so many people. Miramar had a wonderful parade. People are out. We're still doing positive things in the community, all right? So I want you to stay tuned for more. I'm going to go over some more events for the weekend. You guys know I like to do a little rundown about what's going on around town, especially tomorrow. So make sure you tune in to the Suzette Speaks show every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So I appreciate you. So going on to a couple of the stories that I want to make sure you are aware of. We have, Mr. Trump that was visiting Davos, Switzerland yesterday, giving an international speech about what to do with Greenland. Now, Greenland is just living its own little life, you guys. Greenlanders are paying no attention, but now they're forced to. They weren't paying attention to us. They didn't ask to be taken over by the United States, but many are arguing what is the real reason that Greenland is being targeted by Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump has become obsessed with this. Greenland has a total population of 56,000, 57,000. It is an independent, not independent. It belongs to the Danes at this moment. But there's so much talk, the Kingdom of Denmark. Let me put some respect on their name. It is a big deal what is happening, and the talk that Mr. Trump
101.5 HD2. The voice of the Caribbean. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Thank you. That was our station ID. It comes every 30 minutes. I have to make sure I remember. But as I was talking to you about, Denmark and Greenland is not a fan of what Mr. Trump has been talking about. And according to the Associated Press, Denmark and Greenland say their right to self-determination. Yes, I see you online. Thank you, Doug, saying Greenland. Well, we know why. Shipping lanes, right? As well as right now they're frozen, right? Because there's a lot of ice around Greenland. But as the polar ice caps melt, there'll be means to move what they have, which is a lot of raw earth materials in Greenland, across the globe. And so Mr. Trump was making the argument in Davos that it is It is a national security necessity for the United States to take over Greenland? According to the Associated Press, Denmark and Greenland say sovereignty is not negotiable after Trump's about turn on tariffs. Now, reporting out of Copenhagen, Denmark, Denmark's prime minister, according to the Associated Press, insisted that her country cannot negotiate on its sovereignty. And Greenland's leader said Thursday, this was just earlier this morning, it's a red line, quote unquote, don't pass this line. I'm talking Greenland now. Put your comments in the chat if you're watching on YouTube, and you can feel free to call me here. Should we be taking over Greenland? Is that one of the priorities you want for the government of the United States, as Mr. Trump has made it his priority? You can call me at 850-446-0562. Let's talk about it here on the Suzette Speaks Show. I come to you live every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. talking news, hot topics, social media trends, news you can use. And of course, we have so much going on. I'm going to go back to the story about the 5-year-old and play you some local news coverage there, as we are seeing more and more the tactics of ICE, many would say, are crossing the line for what should be acceptable behavior by federal law enforcement. Even with all these tactics, there were still more, on average, people looking at Trump's first year. There were still more people that were detained under President Obama and deported under President Obama than are being deported. Right now, we're seeing a lot of scenes of deportation. But the numbers don't lie. We can get into that. But anyway, I wanted to continue on with the news out of Denmark, saying that Greenland and Denmark don't want to be taken over, don't want to be, I guess, sold. I guess Mr. Trump also, with his real estate background, many are seeing that his perception of how diplomacy works is that this is more so almost akin to a real estate deal, and that, you know, his reasons for trying to make this a reality are for, again, some are saying questionable reasons, others are saying it is in the United States' best interest. Do you agree with it? And should the Greenlanders have something to say? That's the big question. So again, there's a red line. The Greenland's leader is saying, as of today, after United States President Donald Trump said he agreed on a, quote, framework of a future deal on the Arctic security with the head of NATO. Now, how are you going to do this without all parties being involved? Well, according to the Associated Press, an article published just this morning, much about the potential deal remains unclear, though Trump said in a Fox Business interview that, quote, we're going to have total access to Greenland. He added that, quote, we're going to have all the military access we want. Well, Trump on yesterday abruptly scrapped the tariffs that he had threatened to impose on 8 European nations. These are supposed to be our friends, guys. Remember, we have something called allies. Do you think, excuse me, you're in my little hot water. Y'all know I like hot water. Warm water in my Stanley. But do you think NATO will survive this? The North Atlantic Treaty Organization that was created, that framework that was created after World War II, where we realized the depths of destruction that human beings could do to one another, saying that attack on one is an attack on all in order to keep world peace going. Well, Mr. Trump has a different idea of the world order that is essential for peacemaking. Now, Trump on Wednesday, as I said yesterday, scrapped the tariffs that he had threatened to impose on 8 European nations. When he threatened to use them, remember, it was to press them for their support of U.S. control over Greenland. Now, remember, Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of NATO ally Denmark. So Denmark belongs to NATO. Remember what NATO's treaty says. We are now one. We are allies. We are locked brothers and sisters in arms. If one person of NATO is attacked, everyone is attacked. Doug is on my YouTube side. In fact, he said, yeah, they're trying to. I saw this. I saw that post, and I don't know. It's alleged. I don't know how. I try to bring the most factual information I can here, but there are allegations or some conjecture about billionaires wanting to build you would call it a tech hub, a tech city in Greenland, having its own kind of autonomous region. I thought about that. I was like, if that is true, I don't know that it is true, but I saw some posts on social media about it. It's being talked about. Thank you for bringing that up. Shout out to Doug, one of my top fans. Let's go. Top supporters, I would say. It's saying top fan here in the YouTube, but one of my top supporters. I appreciate you from day one. I appreciate you, sir. Watching from, is it Virginia? Remind me, is it Virginia? Straight up. Hey, we have Voice of the Caribbean is heard all over, right? Whether it's on the YouTube side, whether it's on the app side, we got folks that rock with us. But of course, we are located here, Wagwan, in South Florida. But I appreciate the support of everybody, all the listeners who rock with us here as we get to do VA. Yay! I remember Virginia. Absolutely. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you. But, we got some serious business to talk about. Like I said, Denmark and Greenland don't want to be taken over. That part. Remember, Denmark is a part of NATO. An attack on one is an attack on all. Will the United States end up violating NATO? Now, Mr. Trump made clear yesterday, or is his point he made yesterday. I won't know if it's clear or not. But he has said in interviews during Davos and thereafter, he's not going to use military force. It's not necessary. That came from Mr. Trump directly from his mouth in interviews. And it almost like he tries to ratchet it up and say, oh, no, we got a bigger military. Then we'll do whatever it takes. And then he'll say, oh, no, but that's not necessary. But is what he's doing right? You can call me 850-446-0562. Remember that, according to AP, it was a dramatic reversal hours after he insisted he wanted to get the island, including right, title, and ownership. Like, it's almost like a real estate deal. That he also said he would not use force. He also said he would not use force. Let me read that again from the AP. So Trump on Wednesday abruptly scrapped the tariff that he had threatened to impose on 8 European nations to press for U.S. control over Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of NATO ally Denmark. It was a dramatic reversal hours after he insisted he wanted to get the island, including right, title, and ownership, like it's a real estate deal. No, he also said he would no longer, it was like a threat of force, and he said he would not use force. Greenland Prime Minister Jon Fredrik Nielsen voiced guarded relief, but he said he knew no concrete details of such an agreement that Trump cited. The Greenlandic Prime Minister says, I don't know what there is in terms of an agreement or the deal about my country, he said. I don't know what there is in the agreement, he told reporters. Trump said the deal, if completed, would allow the United States to install an element of his Golden Dome, part of the multi-billion-dollar missile defense system in Greenland. Listen, we got to take a quick break. More right after this.
The all-new Voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio. WLYF HD2 Miami, 101.5 HD2.
Looking for a new car? Looking for a used car? Check out M&J Auto Sales. My bad. Oh, God, I've been saying it wrong. M&J United Auto Sales. M&J United Auto Sales. We will do all things other dealers can't do.
Sorry, I get copyright struck every time I let the music play. I be trying not to let the YouTube go boring. Anyway, after this, I have a couple meetings. I'm going to be emceeing. I'm so excited. I'll be telling you, I'm going to be emceeing a Women's History Month. Oh, I got to tell the people. I'm planning 2 women's gatherings, February and March. I'm also going to be emceeing a distinguished panel with former Supreme Court Justice for the Florida Supreme Court, the first Black woman, Florida State. We're going to do the State of Black Women. That'll be the first March. I was just invited to do the moderating. I wonder if I should announce it. I don't know if I should announce it yet, but I'll be emceeing a panel. It'll be a Zoom I'll be emceeing a panel. Ooh, I'm gonna be on a Galentine's panel. Bum, bum, bum. I'll be hosting it. Giving advice for the gals at a woman's Galentine's event on the 13th. I ain't got no Valentine, but I will be. I was nervous about doing it because I don't like talking about relationships since I don't have one, but I know I have some dating experience. So I'll be a panelist. They're having two single ladies, me and another lady, and two married ladies. So I'll be MC. Oh no, I'll be a panelist there. Oh, I should tell them. I should tell them about the Galentine's. So I'm gonna be a panelist on the Galentine's. I'm gonna MC State of Black. I guess I should call it. I don't even know if that panel has a title, with former Chief Justice Peggy Quince and a few other notable Florida trailblazing women lawyers. I have my own events. I'm gonna have to start announcing them. Oh yeah. You're so sweet, Doug. I will be I don't know, taking myself to dinner. We'll see. Such is life. Not forever though.
X, TikTok, and YouTube.
Listen, I was just talking with my YouTube supporters. And first of all, welcome back. This is the Suzette Speaks Show. I was just talking to my YouTube supporters about Valentine's. Your girl was just invited to be on a ladies only Galentine's panel. I'm going to tell you more about it. Galentine's, when did we celebrate Galentine's? The day before Valentine's Day. So that's when you get ready to, hang out with your girl. So your girl will be a panelist. It will be two single ladies and two married women giving advice for women, in the dating world. I think as a part of that event, I don't have the flyer yet. As soon as she sends me the flyer, follow me, Suzette Speaks. 1Z, 2 T's, Speaks with an S, okay? Follow me. Your girl always is around town hosting. I'm a panelist, moderating. Let me talk to you about some events. I got a few more events coming up. First and foremost, your girl is bringing back the Healing Lab. I told you I have a passion for, helping women to elevate, helping women to heal, get more self-awareness and become fully empowered to live the life I feel God has called them to. That is something that I'm very passionate about because I'm on that journey myself. So I will be doing, in conjunction with a women's group, a conference at the end of April. We're actually going to be meeting on it Friday. So that women's conference is to come. But I'll be doing monthly February as well as March women's gatherings here in South Florida. So whether you're in Miami, whether you're in Lauderdale, you can come through. They will be free and they're going to get us ready. We're going to have speakers. We're going to, do some self-reflection and empowerment, self-awareness exercises, things like of that nature. The first one will be February 28th when I get the flyer out. Listen, Doug got me laughing online. But if I have the flyer, as soon as I have the flyer, let me put it out there. It will be February 28th, and I'll be posting it. The Galentine's event is actually it's a church ministry, women's ministry that is hosting it, and I think they're called Abundant Life. It's in Hollywood, Florida, I believe. Once I get the flyer, y'all always tell me, Sue, I didn't hear about the event. I only saw it afterward. If you're not following me, that's up to you. Right? Go upon my page, go upon Voice of the Caribbean page. Yes. Okay. Follow us. Don't be stush. Go ahead and like the page on Facebook and follow it. Go ahead and do it on Instagram too. Same for your girl. And follow us. That way you'll see and hear about the happenings throughout South Florida, right? We are always around town, whether we're doing live remote broadcasts, there we go, or events, women's empowerment events, women's conferences. Your girl is involved in it. I'm a community advocate, right? I advocate for creating spaces for us to connect and see we're not in this thing by ourselves. Oh my gosh, you have that problem too. Oh my gosh, you experience that too. Oh my gosh, I feel less alone. That's what I enjoy the most, right? People getting self-realization and self-actualization. Hey, y'all don't know about that, huh? Y'all know what self-actualization is, right? When you're at peace inside yourself, the world would be such a more calm place, a more loving place if we found the peace inside ourselves instead of, our angst and our projection on other people. Anyway, the time check is 1:45. It's brought to you by a new Jamaican board game, a card trivia game called Riddle Me This. The time check is 1:45 in the afternoon. Suzette Speaks Show comes to you live every Thursday and Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Voice of the Caribbean Radio. Simulcast on 96.9 FM if you're in Broward. What up, Fort Lauderdale? 96.9, but throughout our listening range from Key Largo all the way up to Jupiter. You can hear us on 101.5 FM, and that's on the HD2 dial. Anyway, Riddle Me This is a new Jamaican trivia game. You can pre-order. It's not available yet on Amazon or online. You can pre-order by calling 954-816-2993. Again, created for some wonderful family and friends fun. Riddle Me This, a Jamaican trivia game, it's available and you can pre-order it at 954. Here we go. 816-2993. Once again, 954-816-2993. I'm going to play a little bit of the news story. I've been talking about the 5-year-old in Minnesota who was being taken home with his dad, who ICE agents allegedly used as bait to get the rest of his family to come outside of the house. Story is disturbing. I'm going to play a little bit of the CBS Minnesota clip for you, so you'll hear directly from those in the area as to what actually happened. Again, harrowing reports about a 5-year-old who was swept up by ICE. He and his father now in custody, and him being detained or arrested or used to get his family to come outside of the house. This is what the Minnesota report said.
Columbia Heights are also sounding the alarm, saying ICE is not only following buses and coming onto school grounds, but taking students. A cubby complete with stuffed animals and stickers belonging to a student swept up in the federal immigration operation.
The sense of safety in our community and around our schools is shaken, and our hearts are shattered.
His name is Liam Ramos. He is 5 years old. Officials from his school say he was taken by ICE with his father while in their driveway after just arriving home from his preschool classroom Tuesday. School officials say he was used as bait. According to them, agents made Liam knock on the door, asking to let them in order to see if anyone else was home.
Why detain a 5-year-old? You can't tell me that this child is going to be classified as a violent criminal. The middle school brother came home to a missing dad, a missing little brother, and a terrified mother.
And Columbia Heights school leaders say Liam's family is far from alone.
As of today, 4 of our students, our children, have been detained by ICE.
They say a 17-year-old was also detained by ICE on his way to school today, removed from his car and taken away. Another 17-year-old was detained last week.
2 weeks ago, a 10-year-old student, 4th grader, taken by ICE agents on her way to elementary school with her mother. During the arrest, the child called her father on the phone to tell him that ICE agents were bringing her to school. The father immediately came to the school to find that both his daughter and wife had been taken.
Now, school leaders say that Liam and his family are in the U.S. under an active claim for asylum and had no orders for deportation. We've asked ICE for a comment on these arrests of these children, but have not gotten a response.
That's definitely very disturbing. That came from a WCCO, that's the CBS Minnesota affiliate, the 5-year-old who was swept up by ICE. Can you imagine coming home and your daughter or your son or your sister or brother, especially under the age of 18, since I thought they said they were going off after criminals and the most dangerous among us. But instead, we're hearing these very disturbing stories of 5-year-olds being removed and taken and used as bait to get the rest of their family. A lady comes home to find her children not home. It is getting crazy out here, y'all. So we got to pay attention. What's going on in Minnesota is very serious. And we're going to continue to follow it here. We're going to talk Greenland. Of course, I wanted to talk about Don Lemon. I mentioned to you guys earlier on, if you guys are followers of Don Lemon, I am. In full disclosure, I watch his show. I wouldn't say every single day. But Don Lemon is a very, there's so many things I want to talk about. Let me write my notes. I've been watching some new Netflix shows. I always like to tell you I'm a Netflix girl, what I'm watching. And I watched some craziness over this last weekend with that extra day, that Martin Luther King Day, after I came home. Went to the gym. I watched some Netflix. And yeah, there's some interesting things out there. In the realm of movies, did you know that Sinners, this is what's shocking to me, guys. It's now reported that Sinners, the movie, you remember with Michael B. Jordan playing the twins and whatnot? Sinners, the movie, now let me read this right. Sinners makes history with the most Oscar nominations ever. Sinners, makes history, setting Oscars nomination record. So Ryan Coogler, remember Coogie? Ryan Coogler, the amazing director out of Oakland, California, who directed Black Panther, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Ryan Coogler's this is according to the Associated Press. Ryan Coogler's blues-steeped vampire epic called Sinners led all films with 16 nominations. Wow, 16 at the 98th Academy Awards ceremony on Thursday, setting a record for the most Oscar nominations in history. What y'all think about that? Did you see Sinners? Now, I saw it on opening weekend because, I like to support our art. And anytime I see movies that look like they have something to say, something very interesting to say, and are representative of the culture, I like to support it. So anyway, it's very interesting. We'll come back to that tomorrow. I'm going to put a pin in that. Let me come back to that tomorrow. Sinners now has the highest record, and it breaks the record, according to the Associated Press, that was set before. Academy Awards Motion Picture and Arts and Sciences voters showered Sinners with more nominations than had ever been bestowed before, breaking the 14 nomination mark set by All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. So right now, a movie about Black people in the South, a vampire epic, directed by a Black man, directed and written by an incredible director who also happens to be a Black man, and with the lead performer being Michael B. Jordan, has now been nominated for more Oscars than any other movie. 16 nominations, beating All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. It's very interesting to me. We'll revisit that tomorrow. I'm going to stick a pin in that. I want to give you this last story about Don Lemon because I really am concerned. Again, as someone who works in media and talking about the news and talking about what's happening around the world is my job as well. I wanted to bring you this from CBS News. A Minnesota federal magistrate refused to sign a complaint charging independent journalist Don Lemon in connection with a protest inside a church in St. Paul on Sunday. Now, remember, I was telling you about this before the break. Apparently, a minister or pastor of the church is also a head or supervisory kind of position, supervisory type of position for ICE in the area. People found out about it and went to the church on Sunday to protest this particular pastor. Now, Don Lemon went there to cover. He has the film. I was watching it live. Well, apparently, they were trying to charge Mr. Lemon. Now, this is the story, right? Listen closely, because we were talking about freedom of the press. Now, Don Lemon, again, right now, we know him. Many will know Don Lemon from years at CNN. But now he's an independent journalist working for himself by himself. And in connection with this protest inside of a church in St. Paul on Sunday, a Minnesota federal magistrate refused to sign a complaint charging the independent journalist. Sources familiar with the proceedings told CBS News. Now, listen. This is according to reports by CBS News, the affiliate, can't get it out, in Minnesota. Now, this is what it says. The Attorney General is enraged at the magistrate's decision, said a source familiar with the matter. Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, has been in Minnesota for 2 days as the Justice Department has sought to surge prosecutorial and law enforcement resources there. Now, what they were going to charge Don Lemon with, I don't know. What they was going to charge Don Lemon with. Follow him and watch the video, guys. This is very serious. A different story stressed that the process is not over and that the Justice Department could find other avenues to charge Don Lemon. Like, what? According to CBS News, On Thursday morning, just this morning, Pam Bondi announced 2 arrests connected to the church protests. The arrestees are Chantil Louisa Allen, who serves on the St. Paul School Board, and Nakima, listen to the names, Nakima Levy Armstrong. Now, I bet I could tell you their cultural background, but I'm not going to make any assumptions. Nakima Levy Armstrong and Chantil Louisa Allen, who serves on the St. Paul School Board, were both arrested connected to the church protest on Sunday. That Armstrong herself, Nakima Levy Armstrong, was involved in organizing that protest. A source familiar with the matter confirmed that the magistrate judge approved charges for Allen and Armstrong. Now, DHS, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, said that Armstrong is being charged with a federal crime under United States Statute 18 U.S.C. 241, a civil rights law that prohibits 2 or more people from conspiring to interfere with constitutionally protected rights, like the practice of religion. Okay, I'm just reading this. I'm trying to figure out what are the grounds. Interesting. USC, which is 18 USC 241. That's the United States Code. A civil rights law that prohibits 2 or more people from conspiring to interfere with constitutionally protected rights like freedom of the practice of religion. Okay. Protesters said they entered St. Paul City's church on Sunday after discovering that an immigration and customs enforcement official appeared to be one of the pastors of the church. As I told you, protesters clashed with some of the residents and I guess the parishioners. I would say protests and clashes between some residents and federal immigration officers in the Twin Cities have been occurring daily since the Trump administration deployed thousands of ICE and Border Patrol agents to the area. Among other demands, protesters have called for accountability in the death of the lady that we spoke about here, the Minneapolis mom, Miss Renee Good, a U.S. citizen and Minneapolis resident, shot by ICE while she was driving away. Well, some people will say that allegedly by an ICE officer on January 7th. So again, this concerns me. So Lemon, a former CNN anchor, attended the protest, which interrupted the Sunday service, prompting congregants and their families to leave. In an interview with the pastor, Lemon said, "There's a Constitution and First Amendment and freedom of speech and freedom of assembly and to protest." That's just very interesting. The legal question is, do you have the right to use one right, fundamental right of the Constitution to infringe upon someone else's fundamental right of the Constitution? Because you have the freedom to protest, the First and Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is right to bear arms, but the First Amendment, let me get my amendments right. I'm gonna have to go over this in detail. So they're saying they have the First Amendment right to protest, but then the people who have the First Amendment right to worship freely without being impeded. This is very interesting. The legal question here. We're gonna cover this more tomorrow, guys. I'm almost out of time. I'm just watching. Being a journalist, some are saying, is not Badger's shield. That's according to far right podcaster. Hey, we got to cover this more. Anyway, it's been my pleasure to rock with you. Thank you. I'll see you guys in Miami Gardens for the Science Fair. We're hosted by Suzette Speaks. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow.
W245BC, Lauderdale Lakes, 96.9 FM, the all-new voice of the Caribbean.
This is the all-new voice of the Caribbean. Better sounding radio. WLYF HD2
True, Doug.
Miami.
Doug, you should be out here calling and giving me some of this on the air if you want. Anyway, I'm going. I got a call at 2:15. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good rest of your day.